What's good with you, folks? This is Ray Davis coming to you with the truth. This is I Need a Mic podcast where I will be discussing mental health struggles I battle with just like you. Let's talk about it. It's the tagline I use. It's to say enough is enough. Give me my damn mic. I'm tired of the trauma I'm going through. Hey, folks, how y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing good out there. This heat is hot. I'm hot. If I'm hot, I can only know you hot. Whether you're inside, outside, or whichever place you are at, please stay safe. If you have animals, please keep your animals safe as well too. If it's too hot for our feet to be on the concrete, only imagine how your animal will feel. Alrighty, so before I get started with today's podcast interview, let me put a content warning. Content warning, folks. If there's anything I had or have said in previous episodes that had offended you or anyone you have shared any episode with, I'd like to apologize. I'd like to also remind you I'm not condoning what I said on my podcast. I am real, I am authentic, and I'm a warrior. I'm no longer censored, I'm no longer limited, I'm no longer silent. Mental health will censor you, mental illness will limit you, and mental emotions will silence you. All right. Yes, yes, yes. So, yes, folks, we are here again for another beautiful, wonderful interview. Please, guest, introduce yourself.
Well, thank you, Ray, for having us on. This is Silvia.
Sharpe.
Hello, hello. This is Stephen Sharpe. Thanks for inviting us to be on the show.
Yes, 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 yes. So, oh my gosh. So this is, like I said, a wonderful treat. Today's been just a wonderful day. Just not only this interview, but also with various people who have also, so many people have showed that our mental health is important. Our village is also important too. And I've always said this numbers of times. Please check up on your folks. So today's theme of the interview is hidden gems within our poetry community. And so, with our guest, I just introduced herself. Like I said, this is going to be nice. This is going to be interesting, loving. I can only hope that you, as the listener, will definitely take all of this hidden gem that is in that's in the poetry community. So, so as y'all know, we're going to get to these questions now. These questions, hidden gem questions. Um, the purpose of this interview is celebrating each other and the people who are in this beautiful, wonderful community that we have shared. So, first question: how did you both get into poetry?
That's a good question. So, first, for myself, it was a gradual thing. Just growing up, middle school, high school, English was my least favorite subject. I loved to read, but didn't really like to write very much. Um, Same kind of through college. But like after college, let's take back my senior year in college. It was very interesting. I had the most vivid dream I've ever had, uh, and I'm not one to usually remember my dreams very long afterwards. So I was like, I gotta write this down. So it ended up being like an 8-page dream memory. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And then nothing more came after it for like another year, year and a half. And I was working at Rasputin Music in Vallejo, RIP Rasputin Music. Worked with a very creative bunch of folks, and then just being around music all day helped inspire you. So I wrote a poem, and I was like, oh, this kind of nice, and it helped get my feelings out because I've always been kind of a quiet person, a shy person, and very much one of those, ooh, I should have said this. So writing was a way for me to actually do that. So I started, wrote a few, and ended up going to an open mic in Oakland, and the rest is history from there.
Awesome, awesome. And Silvia?
My experience was a little bit different. So I actually really loved writing throughout school. That was my strongest suit. But as far as poetry writing, it was a prompt. and I don't remember if it was middle school or high school,
Mm-hmm.
but it was one of those like real basic, like um, here's a prompt, here's an outline, guidance on, rhyming AABB or ABAB. And it was, something I enjoyed because I enjoyed writing to begin with, but it really stuck with me. And unlike Stephen, who after he got into it, he really got into it. I was a very sporadic writer. Writing actually with poetry, writing poetry, it became a friend, a confidant. Very similarly with Stephen, I didn't know I was introverted at that point, but I have really heavy introverted tendencies. So it was something that was a relief for me. It was really a way to purge and not have this set of eyes on me of judgment, of cruelty, of talk back. It was just a way for me to get my experiences, my emotions, my day to day activity out.
Your voice.
My voice, which I didn't know I was developing because it was always such a silent activity.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't account for it being that I was actually building my voice.
Yes.
And so as I continued to journal and had peer pressure with, with actually getting these poetry journals out, it wasn't until that point that it really hit the fan of being a public thing.
Yes. Yes. No, that's definitely something that I believe it. Yeah, I was 9 years old when I started writing. I was writing stories, and in middle school, yeah, 12, 13, I was in middle school. One of the security guards at my middle school had asked if I had read Maya Angelou. And of course, being a young kid, I'm like, no, what was that? And so went to the library right after, and I had signed a book out of her poetry. Went home, told my mom about it. My mom told me a story about her and Maya Angelou um, met each other when she was living up in Albany. And so I encouraged her to my mom. I'm like, she could have been my godmama. What's wrong with you? And so Miss Maya had invited my mom over for some milk and cookies, and I was like, okay, well, still, she could have been my godmom. And so it was something that I I I I really cherish a lot. Like poetry was meant. And so the next question, how did you determine your poetic category?
Uh, this life chose me.
Yes.
uh, when it came to poetry, I started off very cliche. I started off as a love poet, because kind of going back to what I was saying, how it was an outlet for me in terms of things I should have said, could have said, wished I would have said. Like it started off with a broken heart. So so yeah, like had a girlfriend and it didn't work out. And
Yeah.
it was one of those like, all right, I'm gonna get my feelings out on paper, and then it transitioned from that into what does love look like for me? What do I want it to be? What have I seen it like the potential for it to be? And then even though I wasn't necessarily looking to date anyone at the time, like the dating pool
Yes.
even back then was not
No.
very not very nice. To put it nicely. And so I would write as an encouragement to myself as well as others, like, hey, this kind of love is still out there. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and kind of went from there. And like as I was going to open mics,
Yes.
met my community, and
Yes.
they uh, they would do different like challenges, like, oh, this week we're writing a poem about nature, or this week we're writing a diss poem to to that bully from growing up.
So many different signs of descriptive writing.
Exactly.
So many, and it's those inspirations um, motivate us into being the writers who we are today. It's always nice to have positive reminders of, okay, I know I wrote something like this before. When did I wrote something hard before? What space was I in? And it's nice to have those positive reminders to say, oh, this is what feels familiar. Oh, that's when I felt that. Okay, yeah. So we write that. We write it as if, even though we're wiser now, but we're still writing some things as in like we still have that feeling of whatever emotions lingering over us. Say, hey, I'm still here. I just want you to know I'm here. I'm just gonna be right here in the corner. Just here. Like, but are you gonna write? And so, so having those reminders is always wonderful to help us um, inspire ourselves.
Very true. Very true.
Yes, that's it. So, Lady Sylvia.
So for me, I really, for the longest time, wasn't challenging myself with categories. It was really, like Stephen said, life events will drastically hit and provoke the mental juices to get them out on paper.
All that adrenaline.
Very much so. So I would say probably in my middle school and high school writing, I was more intrigued with getting that basic setup that I was taught in school of like, here's the prompt, AABB, AABB, or ABAB. And I was looking to continue that writing style, and I actually still write very much in that fashion.
Yes.
But as far as topic, it just really has been life events in the early on portion of my writing. Like I said, it was just really focusing on that format, but I really hadn't experienced a whole lot of life yet. So there was more curiosity in my writing of what I thought love and love making would be like.
Yes.
And it then transitioned into, that brick hit me, and here comes another one, and another one, and another one, and my real only outlet that I felt comfortable with in really expressing the deep and the dark was in poetry. So it carried on for a very long time, and it felt like, probably until very recently, that I couldn't get out of the funk of not being inspired to write unless something traumatic had happened.
Yes.
My therapist, back when I was in my late 20s, we're talking about mental health, right? So I'm going to put it out. I had a bunch of triggers and was starting to, kind of fall into the deep end emotionally about some stuff that I didn't know how to navigate.
Come on now.
My brother, much like you've shared before, so my brother committed suicide when I was 18.
Yes.
And I didn't know how to deal with my emotions because the people around me didn't know how to deal with a breaking little sister.
Yes.
And as they tried to stuff the emotions, I was stuffing emotions. And I didn't realize that until 10 years later, when something else triggered that emotion, that I was really drowning in emotions that I didn't ever let out.
Yes.
And one of my homework assignments from a therapist was, what would you say to your brother who is no longer here? And I was battling with that because I was fighting these emotions of feeling angry and not allowing myself to be angry at him, because I'm like, how are you angry at the dead guy?
Yeah, it was something that I do. Like we definitely, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
Right.
I felt like my emotions were suffocating me, and it was like I needed to have someone so many ways calm me down and be like, how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not what's going on. It's how you feel for yourself.
Right.
And my therapist, she literally, that's how she helps me acknowledge. Pay attention more to myself, to really acknowledge how I feel, and then other than what's going on the outside, revert back to me. So it's like, okay, Rachel, how do you feel? What was the first initial feeling? Okay. How do you feel? Okay, and what was your expectation? And down the line of the future, what what can I do uh, more to help with the anxiety, help recovering from the anxiety, the embarrassment, the expectations. Um, those reminders helps out so much, but it's like you're saying, you weren't taught. I wasn't taught it as well too, and it was like I wrote it down, and as I read some of my old poems, I literally say I look back and I have to be like, whoa, right? Whoa, we were feeling something back then that's relevant now, and it was those emotions. It was like it was like that old school monkey on your back, and it's like I'm still here. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to relieve you of your duties? Because your rent is up, dude, and I'm tired of knowing that you're living in my peace, where I want to find peace, where I'm craving that peace, and it's those therapy sessions. Those therapy sessions help you to navigate and manage so much, and it's so much of a hidden gem within therapy, folks. If you need help, please contact 988 for anyone who is struggling with suicide, anyone struggling with mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health. There's help out there for y'all.
Absolutely.
There's help out there for y'all. And these are the words that we wish we could say to our siblings. Right? And even though we have God siblings and we have so many other very appointed people in our village, we have our village. It 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 sucks. It sucks a lot when you know a part of you is no longer here. When you feel empty, you don't want to apply yourself as an empty person, but you feel like there's some part of you that is gone. So it's like, yeah, some part of you is empty, and we do remind ourselves that every time. I wish I could call my phone. I wish I could pick up my phone and hit up my sister. Like how I know you would want to pick up your phone and hit up your brother. Um, I have brothers in my family now, even my god brothers, and I tell them the same way I tell everyone. Y'all focus on yourself as much as you have everything else on the outside. Only you know the size of your shoes. Only you know how to clean your mirror. Only you know you need to clean your mirror. Only you know how dirty your mirror is. First and foremost. So once we get to cleaning the mirror, what is it that we're working on? All of our, it's like I say, when you look at the mirror, you see no one on the left, you see no one on the right, you see no one behind you. So you look at the person who's in front of you. But while you look at the person who's in front of you, do you see everything that you know you are struggling with on one side? And then do you see everything that you know you have completed on the other side? And then, of course, that small little corner, I was going to say, are you managing? Or have you managed yet? Those reminds me, look in the mirror, it's right there. So we're like, I haven't managed neglect. I haven't managed depression. I haven't managed um, um, ITV. Or, of course, with this month being DV awareness, some people may look at the mirror. I can only hope to look at your mirror and say, I would really like to conquer and overcome something that a lot of people don't know I was dealing with. Mm-hmm. So that could be, like I said, IPV, intimate partner violence. And of course, with this month, we celebrating DV month. So it's like if you are struggling to conquer those emotions, conquer those moments, conquer those memories. Of course, it's free any day, every day. You could work on yourself every day. But first thing first, the step one, have you clean your mirror? And then, have you looked at your mirror? Once you look at yourself in the mirror, only you can say, okay, I got something to work on. I got this to work on. I got that to work on. So meaning, it's like I said, I have hidden gems. I have hidden gems. What I mean by hidden gems is when I look in the mirror, I know I'm a diamond. I'm beautiful. But I know I wish I had someone on the left. I wish I had someone on the right. Not not just spiritually, but physically. So I'm appreciating the spiritual things that is saying I'm good, I'm human. Like today, my friend from Vegas. Yes, I'm gonna put you on. Yes, I'm putting you on this episode. And so my friend from Vegas let me know, Ray, you're important. And it's nice to be reminded of that, but it's more appreciative to hear it. So that so it's all of these positive hidden gems. So next question now. So we're going to get into some poetic poetic feelings here, folks. So how is your heart feeling poetically?
Um, Poetically pulled in many directions.
Tug of war.
Right. So poetically, uh, so one thing that has about me, uh, I used to write very regularly. Like once I really started getting into poetry, I was writing pretty much every day for like 5, 6 years. And then after that, it kind of became a little bit more sporadic. Uh, and then kind of similar to Sylvia, it would like the the most regular I would write is after events like events happen.
Yeah.
And so whether they be good or bad. And so these last couple of years, we've been in the pandemic with COVID and
Yeah.
quite a few life events. So poetically, I've definitely felt creative. Have been writing quite a bit. Some of it probably will never see the light of day.
Come on now.
Because
Yes.
because it's one thing to be able to write it for myself. But so both of us are published authors, and as an author, as a human being, we should be responsible for our words. And some words, even though written out of anger, out of frustration, out of where I was at the time, I they need to be written. However, right, and writing is very much like TV and the internet. Once you put it out there, it's out there. So you're going to capture your thought process at a point in time, your portrayal of individual at a point in time, and sometimes it needs to be shared to either help relate to someone else or to expose somebody who needs to be exposed. However, going back to that writing time and time again might not be the best for my mental health.
Right.
So right now I'm very creative and have written quite a bit. And in my growing, my maturing,
Yes, sir.
realizing, all right, what should have the possibility of
Mhm.
being shared with people and what shouldn't be.
Mhm.
And then uh, also, so I am the current poet laureate for the city of Richmond. And so with that, I have some more administrative duties, such as uh, hosting and promoting the open mic that is at CoBiz right across the street from Richmond Bar every third Thursday of the month. So even though I'm enjoying being able to put something on for my city, it's work, and it's more logistical than creative. So it's kind of the balancing act of like, all right, where does the time go?
Oh my Lord. Fast, right?
Very true. Very true.
Fast. So sweet.
So for me, I feel like my poetic heart feels very revived, very energized. There's a renewal that has happened really within the last few months.
Yes, ma'am.
Something that I didn't foresee happening this early on. So again, there's work that's going behind the scenes. We don't just get up and look like the smile that we put on every day.
Come on now.
And so, dealing with old demons, I had just an enormous amount of revelations within since June. June, something started shifting.
Yes.
And I have the most started poems in my notes app that I just, I'm like, not all of these are bad. Like, these aren't all chaotic experiences. They're still life.
Yes.
I find that if I try to write about butterflies and nature and stuff like that, I tend to not like my work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I don't like nature. I love butterflies. I love all these beautiful things.
But the different shades of colors.
But the poetic energy is different.
Yes. Yes.
When you have raw, unfiltered
So many different shades of colors.
emotions that come out in something where maybe we could relate fall to fall leaves rather than it as a season when you personify some of those things. And so for me, I feel like this block wasn't necessarily writer's block. It was more of a mental, emotional healing that needed to happen to open up creativity that I didn't know that I had within me because I've been dealing with some demons for so long.
So that was a physical transition.
It's very physical.
It was a physical transition.
Very physical, and it just was one of those things. Like I mentioned, I didn't know it would happen so fast.
Yes.
Because I knew it needed to happen, but I was so drawn on this being, how long is it going to take me? And something hit, and it shifted everything. So that was a long answer to, I'm feeling revived, I'm feeling encouraged, I am feeling renewed, and really looking forward to finishing up the 17 different poems or whatever it is that I have in my notes app.
Wait, no, I cannot wait. That's what I've been. I've been going through a lot of physical transition. And it's like physical transition. I started to work out. I started to get back on the basketball court. Whenever I came to the gym, I would never not feel like going to the gym. With this heat, it's like, okay, the gym is nice, but I can get a much good workout outside to really take in the air. And poetically, it's like I've been growing another plant. So I ripped one plant out of anger. And that plant had a lot of good things like friends, family, community, circle, all of it. It was like in a form of being poetic. It was like that plant had died.
Mm.
and um, I was upset at it. I didn't want to work on to water it up. So I was like, let me get back into a new plant. So new soil, meaning I'm focusing on what's going to help me with me. And if it's not going to benefit my mental journey in a positive way, then respectfully, um, I'm gonna detach myself from the situation. Meaning, I'm not gonna use somebody else's flower pot if what I have is just as perfect, because I know I'm perfect. I'm the perfect shape. The soil is what is feeding. It's what I'm putting in. Then the seed is what it's going to be. The water is me feeding into myself. Meaning, I'm focusing on those who's going to focus on me. I'm focused on those who motivate me, who inspire me, who want to see me win, and who I want to see. It's like that. As far as that mutual expression, it's nice to interact with people who feel the exact same the emotional, mutual feelings. And it's like, okay, I just want to make sure I really am not alone. And it's reminded that sometimes you can't get it from places that you know you want to get it from. Family, you can't always get it from family. I learned this the hard way so many times, again. Um, I love my family, but I'm gonna be in love with y'all from a distance, and and that's just me just saying, take some time missing me, because I don't know if I'm gonna have the exact same feeling, but I know what I wanted at first, and what I wanted at first, I couldn't receive it. So I'm respectfully detaching myself from things that's not going to benefit my mental health. So, the next question, please, for the folks who are interested in becoming authors, and then anyone who's willing to do something different, please give information about your afterword press publishing company.
Sure thing. So, Afterward Press is a Richmond-based publishing company. We support authors from across the country. It initially started because I self-published my first book, and when I would share that with people, I would get a lot of feedback of saying, "Oh, that's awesome! I've always wanted to publish a book, but didn't know where to start," or "Oh, what's the process like?" And so I had this knowledge, and Sylvia encouraged me to say, "Hey, why don't you put it to use?" So in 2020, right before, right before, or the world kind of got turned upside down, we opened our doors and we help authors, those that, and not even necessarily authors, but people that have a story to tell, to from beginning to end, we do consulting in terms of layout, formatting, because there's some people that have everything together to the point of like, hey, we just looking for somebody to print the books, and then we have people be like, hey, I have 3 pages.
Right.
And so we consult throughout the process. We provide editing services, proofreading, suggestions in terms of structuring. We also help with the copyright process, whether you go with us or not, to protect your work so that you don't send it off to somebody to read it and they turn it into their story, their script. So we help with copyright, obviously help with printing as well as distribution. So so far,
A little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything.
Of
A little bit of
everything.
everything.
You know, that is definitely something that I'm appreciative of you really expressing. Of course, I meant to tell you, I think both of y'all, one of y'all did, that I'm not in my future. I'm going to be working on a book, and y'all know I'm coming to y'all first. Y'all are people, so most importantly, y'all, like I said, you settle within our hometown. And with my platform, I want to give back into my hometown first before I would want to branch out. I mean, yeah, I'm appreciative of planting this seed here in Vallejo. I mean, like just walking down the street, it's like, oh, I'm looking at time. I'm like, oh my gosh, the time goes by fast when you're just sinking in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was like, no, I'm messing with my peoples. My peoples are doing something I know I want to do because I want to get back to the city of Richmond as well too. So I'm working on my poetry, uh, one day at a time or a month at a time. I'm looking at all the old poems that I have when I was a teenager, early 20s to now. I have notebooks of ones that I never posted on Facebook before. All the ones I posted on Facebook. I don't know if y'all remember when Facebook first came out. It's
Facebook notes. Hey, that's where I started posting mine first.
Saved, so that was our source of copywriting back then. So I went back to all my Facebook notes and I cut and paste. I'm like, yo, it's going in my Google Docs. And so many of those old school poems I know I want to go back to and edit myself. But I'm definitely shooting for 2026 to start working on the book, and y'all know I'm coming to y'all first. So I'm shooting for 2026. Um, Doing the business side of things as we were just discussing. Business side of things, it's a lot of work. I need to get started with trademarking. I need a mic, and I need a mic free hugs, or no, how's your heart feeling? And I need to get the LLC for. I need my gaming. So a lot of the business financial is all getting planned out for 2025. I just really, it's a must. I need to really get. I need to be serious. And as I'm playing this new plant, my plant is going to be seriously grown. And so it's there. But just know that after WordPress is on my to-do list once I have all the other business stuff all situated. So y'all got a blessing coming towards your way. Y'all got a blessing coming towards your way. All right. Any more information about afterward? Is there any? I have a god brother, bro, and this question is for you. No, you didn't tell me to ask, but this question is for you. Um, he's interested in doing comic book novels.
Sure.
There you go, bro. There go your answer.
Yeah. So in terms, so one thing that I have appreciated about Afterwards journey is as we're growing, we're expanding, and with that, even the things that we haven't done yet, we say that we just haven't done it yet because we know when it comes to creating and putting it out there, whether it be poetry, novels, comic books, drawing,
Yes.
anything that you produce, that's your creative baby. And sometimes we figure it out as we go. Sometimes we have a very specific vision for it.
Yes.
And so in our early days, we had an application and it asked details like, oh, do you want it to be printed on white pages or like cream pages? We had an author write in black.
Right.
And we were like, sir, that's not one of our offerings.
Right.
But we didn't tell him no. We said, give us a little bit of time, and we were able to figure it out. Black pages with white ink.
Yes.
It turned out really well.
Yes.
So now that's one of the services we offer. So,
Yes.
so with a lot of things, it's more of it depends.
Yes.
So in terms of comic books, we do have the capacity for it. And then there's just questions that will affect some of it. So like, okay, well, like with comic books, they're a little bit more expensive than just the general 25-cent paperback.
Yes.
Because with color, you have to do color ink and a little bit thicker pages, so the colors don't leave.
Yes. And then that's definitely understanding. So that's definitely something to also put into mind. Another question. for other for new authors who already have a book, if they are interested in republishing, could they republish with Afterword Press?
It depends.
It all depends. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Yep.
in theory, yes.
Okay.
So a couple of the authors that we have published, it was their second or third book, and they published primarily with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple things does play into part of if we could republish something that's already been published. One, who owns the copyright? Because some publishers will have you sign away your copyright in perpetuity. We are not one of those. We are very much a creator-based organization. So even though we help prepare the copyright, ultimately the final decision on how it's used comes to you. It also depends on what your contract is with your primary publisher, because you can sign away rights in perpetuity, which means they're the only ones that can sell this book. Or they might have it where you can go with somebody else after X number of books. But if you own the copyright, they're like, that's the biggest thing.
Yes.
Because even if it's we add a couple pages of like, oh, we add an introduction to say, hey, this is the director's cut.
Yeah, and it's yours.
Exactly.
It's still yours. So no, that's definitely something also keep in mind for anyone out there, any relatives, cousins. If you have books, because I do have a couple few cousins who have books, and if you are interested in Afterword Press, I will definitely put the information down in the episode description right after this. All right, so last question. Ooh. Are you ready? Hype yourself, please let the people know about your platforms and where to find you.
Sure thing. So you can find me on primarily on Instagram, but also Twitter as well. Instagram, it's STH Sharpe. That's SHARPE. On Twitter, it's Esteban, ESTEBAN, the number 4 TH. So Esteban S4. And for Afterward, you can find us on Instagram as well as Twitter. Afterward, that's AFTERWORDPRESS. And you can also find us on our website, theafterwordpress.com. With Afterward, we are very much a large-scale distributor, but also small-scale. So if you have a story that you just want to have for yourself, have 3 or 4 copies, we can do that, as well as if you want to ship out hundreds and hundreds, we got you. And you could also see us in person every third Thursday at CoBiz right across the street from Richmond Bar. Every third Thursday of the month, we host Afterward Presents Richmond Talent Night, which is the open mic night. We do have musical guests generally, as well as pop-up restaurant food. So stop on by, find us online, and look forward to seeing and hearing from you.
Oh my gosh, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. But yes, folks, once again, I would definitely be putting all this information in the episode description. So everyone who listens to this, your people, my people, peoples of peoples of peoples, they will definitely have this information down for the future. And so oh my gosh, so this is, of course, that was the last question. So before we end this episode, I would like to finish off with a quote that's related to this episode. Ms. Silvia, can you recite the quote, please? Don't know who said this quote, but whoever did, thank you.
Optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. Unknown.
Say it again, somebody in the back. Say it again, somebody in the back.
Okay, for those of y'all that didn't hear the first time, optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. Unknown. And this episode is exactly a manifestation
Yes,
of this quote.
I did. Yes. And I really, like I said, I don't be knowing who be singing, but I just pick 'em. And it does relate to the relationships and friendships. These hidden gems that are equipped with I Need a Mic. So, oh my gosh, folks. So now you have heard us speak some truth. This is our way of passing the mic to you. I hope our courage, will, and drive motivate you. Y'all take care, stay safe, and if y'all have any kids, I cannot stress this any further enough. Please kiss them babies every day.